Cindy Hodgson from Essential Therapies. We're going to talk about some self-treatment, one of my favorites called Legs Up the Wall. This is a very simple but extremely effective series of exercises, stretching, specifically myofascial stretching because of how long we're holding them, that I've been using with patients for several years. And I've had so many people give me great reports about how it's helped them. And as for myself, it's something that I need to do at least a few times a week, and it's great if I can get it in more than that. So it's safe for most everyone. One of the precautions is that you need to be able to get down to the floor and back up safely. So that is one of the things that is sometimes a problem. I have had patients do this on a bed that is against the wall so that they don't have to get down on the floor, and that might be an option for you, and sometimes that's how people start, is using the bed instead. But we're going to go through each position and explain how you get there and how you move out. I'm not going to hold each position as long as I would suggest that you hold it, however. One of the questions I get is always, how often do I stay in each one of these positions? And really it depends on you, and it depends on where you are as far as your flexibility and your tolerance to this stretch. So first of all, always be sure that you're not causing pain, and we've talked about this in the video previous to this about being in channel 3, and it's really important to be focused and be present inside your body while you're having these stretches going on, or any other self-treatment for that matter, because we don't want to push the body into an area that it's not ready to go into. So if you feel your body tensing up in any of these stretches, you need to adjust something, or maybe it's not right for you yet. So always feel and be present, and you should be able to soften and breathe into each position. And even if you feel intense pulling or even a discomfort, that's not necessarily bad. It should be a hurts good feeling, if you know what I mean, something that you can soften into. And often after the first several seconds, or maybe even minute or so, that sensation will start to change and shift, and that means we're making some adjustments on that soft tissue, which is what we want. So for these, myself, I will stay more than 5 minutes oftentimes in each one of these positions, but I have been doing them for a long time. Thinking of the myofascial release principles, if you do stay that 3 to 5 minutes, you're starting to get a real change in some of the deeper tissue, not just the elastic components. And if you're staying 5 minutes or more, you're getting more of a myofascial release. So let's get started. What you want to do is sit to the edge of your mat. Sometimes the hardest part is finding a wall that you can use, but you can also do it against a door. So you can do it against a closed door if you don't have a wall space. It's not quite the same, but it works. So you want to sit right next to the wall with your side close to the wall like this. And I go off of the mat because once we roll around, then we'll be on the mat. So as you come down onto the floor, you shift your bottom closer to the wall, and now you're laying perpendicular with the mat. So I'm going to get a little bit closer to the wall. Now I'm ready to roll over with feet up on the wall. So here we go. Very easy to get here. Now, if you get here and your knees are bent and it hurts to straighten them, you're going to need to move yourself back away from the wall a little bit. So if you're next to the wall and you can easily straighten out your legs, and you're not having pain or any discomfort that's uncomfortable or unbearable to soften into, then you're good. The other thing you want to look at is your head and neck. A lot of people are very tight up in the chest and neck area, so when they get here, their head looks like this, so the chin is pointed up to the ceiling. And this is not a good place to be either. So what you would want to do is place a folded up towel underneath the head, just enough to bring it up so that you don't have this going on, okay? So just a folded, maybe hand towel or even a bath towel right under the back of your head, not under the neck, but just under the back of the head, so that it would bring you from here to here. That just brings the floor up to where your head needs to be. Okay, so from here, this is it, you're in the position. You can bring arms out. As I bring the arms out, I immediately feel it across my whole arm up into the chest, and just relaxing right here. It feels so good. So now going into channel 3 and really feeling your body softening and letting go, and just being present. Now, where you feel this is dependent upon where your myofascial restrictions are or where your tightness in your body is. So for some people, it could be back here, behind the legs. For some, it might be in the calves. For some, it might be in the back. I have actually felt this all the way up into my head lots of times, even the jaw. I feel it a lot in my arms right now. Now, play around with the hand position. So you're going to take the hand now palm down. Notice how that feels different. So it pulls differently into the fascial system. And do both positions if you like, or whatever you have time for. So that was the other thing I wanted to mention. I also am going to show you here, arms bent. That pulls differently also into my shoulders and chest. Now, if you only have a few minutes to do your legs up the wall, that's totally okay. I have oftentimes noticed a difference in the clinic when I'm just showing someone these stretches and I'm only in each one of them for several seconds, and I get up and I can definitely tell a difference. So melting that fuzz somewhat, even if you're just in here for a few seconds for each position. So after this one, we're going to go to legs wide. So just simply widen your legs. For a lot of people, this is a little bit easier as far as the pull on the back of the thighs. But as far down as you are comfortable going, you want to go to where you feel that resistance, that first resistance. Don't push into a position of really being uncomfortable, but just into where you feel it's tight. So that's where this is for me right now. I'm feeling some tightness through here and across the pelvic floor area and up into my thighs. I bring the arms out and now I feel into my arms and chest. But again, that's going to be dependent on wherever your tightness and restriction is. So from here, you would stay as long as you are planning or is comfortable. Breathe and soften into it. And the next position from here, after staying several seconds or longer, you're going to just bend your knees. So just take your hands behind your knees and bend them in, and then the feet go toward the wall. So the bottoms of the feet are on the wall, and the knees are wide apart. So I have long arms, so it's easy for me to do this, and you don't have to put your arms here, but I like to place my arms on the inner thigh area or inner knee and just gently press out. Make sure the head is also back so that your chin isn't up toward the ceiling, and then bring awareness to the tailbone for a moment. Press that tailbone down toward the floor. Notice how that changes the pull into the body. Now relax and soften into the hips. It's okay if your feet roll to the side a little bit. Some people are out like this with their edges of the feet just on the wall, and that's fine too. Relax your shoulders down and breathe. You can also have your arms in different positions. And if you need to multitask while you're here, it's a good place to catch up on your phone items that you might need to get to. So after this one, take the bottoms of the feet together into a butterfly position. And you can have your feet up higher like this if that's where you need to be, or you can bring them down lower to get a deeper stretch. Wherever your body is fine. And I like to press out on this one as well. It's good to have either a timer going or maybe listening to music. A lot of songs are 3 to 5 minutes long, so holding each position for 1 or 2 songs is one good way to not have to watch a clock necessarily. Again, thinking of the tailbone, bring the tailbone down toward the floor, lengthen the back of neck. Then after this one, we're going to bring one leg, let's take the left leg straight up. Take the right knee across the leg, and you're going to place it not on the knee joint, but more on the thigh just above the knee. And you're going to either press the right knee toward the wall and hold it here. It'll feel a completely different stretch if you're pushing toward the wall, or you can pull into the chest like so. And both are stretching different areas of the hips, so you could do one or both of them or alternate them depending on what day you have and how much time you have. If you want to get a little deeper into this stretch, you can take the straight leg and bend the knee closer toward the body. And then switching sides. Left ankle on the right thigh. Make sure you're not compressing the knee, pushing away toward the wall. or in toward the chest. Again, holding these longer. We're just going through quickly for demonstration. And then you can bend the straight knee to bring it closer for a deeper stretch if that works for you. Okay, and then bringing both legs up again. Now I often go back to the straight legs up the wall after those just to see the difference. It feels different even after those few moments of stretching. So now we're going to do a twist. This is a legs up the wall twist. Now you may need to scoot your body away from the wall a little bit or not. We're just going to try walking the feet over to one side. And you are allowing that opposite hip to come up off of the floor as the twist begins to happen in the trunk. And stop where you need to. Right here may be enough. Turn your head the opposite direction of the knees. I'm going to continue to walk down a little bit. And you can come all the way to the floor if that's available to you. And breathe and soften into it. You might want to take your hand and give a little bit extra pressure on that top knee. And then releasing, coming back over. Now to the other side. Walking feet over to the left, stopping where you need to, letting the right hip come up off the floor, turning the head toward the right, and try the palm down. You can try palm up or palm down. I find it's a little bit more intense if the palm is down. And breathe and soften in. So I have one more legs on the wall stretch that I've added in the last year for myself because I get so tight in this front hip area and the front of the pelvis, which pulls up into the front of the spine. From so much driving and just sitting that we do, this area gets very tight. So the one thing I found was missing with Legs Up the Wall series was opening this space because everything is opening the back body. So this is a little bit more tricky, but it's similar to a lunge stretch that you would do in standing. So let me walk you through it. I'm going to walk away from the wall a little bit. You can roll to the side and scoot over. Makes it a little bit easier. And the bottom knee is going to be bent at 90 degrees right here, and the foot is on the wall. This top leg comes back behind into a lunge type stretch. And I'm using the wall just to hold me there. Now the upper body, if I'm way down here like this, I'm not getting as much of a stretch. So I'm going to move my body straight so it's more perpendicular to the wall. Feels so good. I feel a lot of pulling up here into my abdomen, front of the hip, pelvis. And then staying as long as feels comfortable for you. And we're going to switch to the other side. It's kind of like the twist. We're just going to roll over, take that bottom knee, foot against the wall near the floor, knee is bent, and then the right leg comes back behind, using the wall for support, making your body straight, perpendicular to the floor, and stretching into the front body. Feels so good. Watch the pelvis. Sometimes it has a tendency to roll back, but as long as you're feeling some stretching into the front body, you're good. The phone's ringing. And that is it for Legs Up the Wall. Hope that helps, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Have a great day.